What's up, 208? It's Matt and Justin here on a Monday. We threw a little curveball at you. Lots to talk about. File on in, hit the like button. We're going to tell you who the key player is out of the NFC West to win this to win your fantasy football leagues. It's a secret, and you may not like it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get going right now. Justin, how are you this afternoon? Monday, what is it? A couple days of post 4th of July hangover. You hanging in there?
Yeah, it was. We just went around. We went up to some balloons up north above us, about an hour away, and then we went over to my friend's house. He has a boat. We went fishing. We did some tubing. It was a long weekend, but it was super fun. Lit off some fireworks. It was good 4th of July weekend.
Outstanding. Good deal. Had a great time. Lots of sun, and enjoyed our family time as well. So I'm excited to get back to it. We took off yesterday for a little recruit, and we are back here on Monday to meet with all you guys. And I will tell you, Justin, there's a couple of it's the day of the week. It's National World Chocolate Day, which is awesome, nice. But it's also National Tell the Truth Day. So we are here for you guys, right? We're here for you. We're going to fill you in and let you know what's going to happen. So let's jump right into it. Justin, you got some news for us, and let's do it now.
What's going on?
So I did a little video. Hopefully you guys saw a little quick video right when that Pittsburgh-Miami trade happened. Again, if you didn't get a chance, well, we all saw Mika going back to Miami, where he started his career. I think he only played one season there, and then he got traded to Pittsburgh for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey goes to Pittsburgh. Jonnu Smith also goes over to Pittsburgh. Just kind of a weird trade. I just feel like Pittsburgh just like reshuffled the deck a little bit, but they have the same players. A disgruntled wide receiver that sometimes gets in fights. George Pickens to DK, kind of the same player. Again, DK's definitely had more success. I think Jalen Ramsey could play some safety. I think you could see him there. They have Joey Porter Jr. there, who had a really good job, good year last year. It'll be interesting to see where they play Jalen Ramsey in the backfield. And then Mika's kind of gone down a little bit from his All-Pro years. So kind of interesting. The Jonnu Smith trade, man. Arthur Smith strikes again, man. He just loves him some Jonnu Smith. They have 3 good tight ends. Like, they should be in 13 personnel the whole time. Holy crap. Because I like Washington a lot. And I think Freiermuth is good too. And now they add Jonnu Smith to this. I just don't think it's the best. I think with the trade with the Dolphins side, I think it hurts nobody. I'm really excited for Waddle now. I think Waddle is a must-draft guy this year now. Super excited for him. And then the Dolphins go out and sign Darren Waller. I saw a lot of activity. A lot of people in my sleeper leagues, on my dynasty leagues, picked him up. So I'm not on the best.
No, I'm not. I'm passing hard on Waller. I'm not sure really why he came back either. It's interesting. Why come back? What was the draw? It's really, but whatever. To him, wish him the best. Hope he does well. But I would not drop any fab. I would not do anything like that to pick up Waller right now. So. That's a good call out.
Who thinks the biggest impact here on either side for the Steelers and the Dolphins?
I don't impact. Are you asking me who won the trade, or are you asking me who has the biggest impact of the trade, or both?
Do you like any wide receivers more? Do you like any running backs more? Do you like anybody less? Do you like anybody more or less on either side? Because I really love Waddle now. I'm super excited for him.
Yeah.
And Achane. They both took really big bumps in my book.
I like Waddle. I just think I like guys around him better when we're talking fantasy, right? I don't know what the Steelers are doing, to be honest. I struggle. Are they going to run 3 tight end sets now? 2 tight end sets and kind of go from there? So who knows?
I think Freiermuth is probably not draftable now, where he was maybe a serviceable guy, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. That trade to me is kind of here nor there, but yeah.
Sweet. That's all I got for news. That's the only thing that happened. It was fun to get a little action, on this big dead period. But we have football this month, Hall of Fame game at the end of the month, so we're almost there.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know how many days we have until the first game in the NFL?
Is it 6 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, 59 days.
There we go.
59 days. That is going to go fast. So I hope you're preparing for your leagues right now. Now's the time to start looking. Now's the time to study. And we're going to talk a little bit about Justin's been doing some mock drafts, which we will do some mock drafts in future shows. So understand that we will get you guys included. We just want to break down all these conferences and whatnot, these divisions. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show right now, which is the NFC West. We're going to break it down for you. We're going to let you know who we think could win your league. I was surprised. Actually, when I created the title, I was like, I kind of know who I would pick. And I asked Justin beforehand, and he gave that exact same look. And we said the same person. And you guys might think we're a little bit nuts. But if it plays out, it's very possible. But there's a caveat to that, and we'll get to it here pretty quick. So, again, we are covering the 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks tonight. If you have to, write it down a little bit, take a note, rewatch this, but be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our stuff. And again, we just like talking football. We want you guys to win. We're about the bragging rights here at the 208. So, all right, 49ers last year, 6-11, big disappointment for them last year. They struggled. We all knew that Super Bowl window was closing, and last year just kind of sealed it. Justin, you have them 8-9 going in, so a little bit better, but still kind of down and predicting to miss the playoffs here.
Yeah, I just don't see a lot of adding. I think the biggest add they get back is definitely Christian McCaffrey, but I mean, they lost two of their better dudes on defense, going both to Denver in Hufanga and Greenlaw. I think that really hurts them up front. They really invested in the front seven with some draft picks. In their first 4-round picks were defensive linemen. So, I mean, they were really aggressive there. They still have Fred Warner, who's the best backer in the league. But I don't see a lot of improvement, just a lot of old dudes. Trent Williams is getting up there, who I think I've said for the past couple of years, as long as we have this podcast, I think he's the best NFL player, just purely NFL player. He's just really good at what he does, but, man, he's getting up there.
Yep. Well, let's move into the rosters. Again, this is the position ranks and the ADPs are based off of our friends over at Fantasy Pros and where they are. This is half point PPR. So starting off with QB here. So Brock Purdy, position rank 13, ADP 98, and you can get him in the ninth round. What are your thoughts on Purdy this year, Justin?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. 2 years ago, he was the quarterback 6 in half PPR. But he had to have 30 touchdowns. I don't think he is that. I think the only guy you can count on throwing 30 touchdowns every year, takes the bake, is probably Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow's got some wide receivers, and they got to hook the ball around. Their defense is not very good. Purdy does not run the ball at all. He threw for 3,800 yards. He had 14 games. He had 20 touchdowns, 12 INTs. Again, it's not a lot of upside, so he's just not a guy that I really target, to be honest. So.
Yeah, and he did get paid. He got his bag, right? So, I thought it would have been best if the 49ers would have not paid him this year, put the money elsewhere into this team, and they chose not to do that. So they've signed him to a five-year contract, $265 million, and a whole bunch of it guaranteed. But that's not why we're here. So I'm with you. I'm probably passing. There are other quarterbacks I like better later in that round, and I will give you. Let me go to overall here, and I'll just give you kind of a heads up. 98. So Caleb Williams is going right before Purdy. I'd take Caleb Williams over Purdy. So if that doesn't help you guys out any, I don't know what to do for you. So
yeah,
McCaffrey is 5, ADP 11, going in the first round. We were both surprised on this one when we both looked at that because Justin, you did some mock drafts. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I don't know. There's just not a lot of people drafting right now, so ADP's kind of really roughed up right now. So I love the 10, like the 9, 10, 11, 12 spot. I love it this year, especially in third round reversal. I think every draft should be third round reversal. It just helps mitigate some talent when it comes to the top end. So third round reversal is just basically, so it's a snake draft, and then once those first 2 rounds go, it doesn't go back to the 301 is the first overall pick. It switches all the way back around. Okay, so the last pick gets the first pick of the third round. So I like third round reversal, but in those, I was doing 10 team mocks because most of the time I play in 10 team leagues. And Christian McCaffrey consistently was there at the 301, which is shocking to me. And I was like, man, this build that I am getting right now, because I was going Genty, and it was like Brian Thomas or Nico in the second, and then Christian McCaffrey in the third. I'm like, this team is ridiculous. Listen, if Christian McCaffrey is in the third or back end of the second, that is a steal. Like, he does not have a lot of seasons where he's fully healthy. Again, that is a very hard caveat to get over. That he does not finish 1 or 2. He's so much of a steal. Again, he's 29. Are the wheels going to fall off? It feels like he gets hurt every other year. He has 2 really bad injury seasons. 3. 2 with the Panthers and then 1 with the 49ers being last year. But sheesh, if he goes in the third round, he is a steal. And one big caveat with the record prediction, if you look at the 49ers depth chart, I bet most of you guys can't name their other 4 starters. Like, Dominic Puni had a really good year last year as a rookie. I mean, he really developed really well as their right guard. But other than that, it just feels like a kid with a baseball. Like, at any time, this baseball could just shatter this window because they have a lot of just fragile guys in this offense where Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, those 2 guys, if they get hurt, like, this season's going to go down quick just like it did last year. But I love Christian McCaffrey.
So let's be clear on this, because I don't want viewers thinking like, oh my gosh, they're all in on Christian McCaffrey. Look, there is going to be people in your league. Last year he went 101. There are a lot of people that got burnt in the 101. So we are not saying to take Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Do not take Christian McCaffrey in the first round. There will be somebody in your league that'll want to pick him up at the end of round 1, which he's here, or early round 2. That's not where the value is. It's back end of 2, early round 3, after you've already picked up a stud running back like a Bijan or a Genty, or maybe you went wide receiver Nico and
maybe you went Bowers.
BTJ or Bowers or something like that. Yeah. Maybe you go with Nico, BTJ, and then you get McCaffrey. That's where the value's at. That this will win leagues for you if again, we're not going to predict injuries. We're not going to say anybody's get hurt. But if he plays a full season or even 3/4 of the season, you'll win leagues with that setup. So put that in your back pocket. So kind of moving on. So I didn't put the Grendo is a must off if you get him. So understand that.
Correct.
I also really like Jordan James. I really do. Now I didn't put him on this list because he's undraftable. Just put him in your back pocket. Kid out of Oregon. He's could be a good player and they good. He's a good running back. Now you got to remember. San Francisco likes to use running backs like crazy. They just run them until they run them into the ground. So I understand that. So
very true.
Moving on, wide receiver group. Jennings got paid, I think, last year. He's 33. Ayuk's 51, who begged for money last year, and we said stay away from Ayuk. We told everybody to stay away from Ayuk, and if you followed us, you're welcome. And Parasol did pretty well, but he's 41. And the ADPs are 6th round, 10th round, and 14th round on those guys. Justin, is there anybody you want out of this receiving core that you're like, yeah, there's some value there that I wouldn't mind having?
So in one of my other leagues, I did this big trade where I got off of AJ Brown. I got a couple firsts, like pivoted off the Travis Hunter. But in one of those, I'm like, hey, just throw in Ricky Pearsall. Like, just throw him in so we can get it done. And it happened because, Pearsall was a little slow. Just to go back to Matt's point before I finish up the Pearsall thing, we told you, hey, Ayuk held out. He's probably going to get hurt. I think Matt said it at like every show. Like, he's holding out. He's probably going to get hurt. And he did. he tore his ACL and his MCL week 7. That's halfway through the season. That is really, really hard to come back from, as old as he is. Okay? Juwan Jennings, he had a really fun year last year. He's a really good receiver, blocks really well. He's a guy that you want to have your team. I'm a big believer in Pearsall. We have to remember he got shot at the beginning of the last season. Very slow to come. It wasn't an IUP situation where he's holding out. He was definitely there. He got shot. He was like back there like the week after he got surgery. The last 2 games, can you look up his stats the last 2 games? Because they're pretty nuts. Because he was wide receiver 14 and wide receiver 8, I think, his last 2 games. I think 14th round, like, you need to take shots on guys that can be something. Like, realistically, he has a really good shot at being a wide receiver 1 at least the first half of the year. Okay, I don't think Juwan Jennings is a wide receiver 1 type of guy. I think we have to remember Pearsall was a first round wide receiver. Like, you gotta take bets on those guys. I in the 14th round, I will take him every day of the week.
Yeah, and it's not 14th. That is a typo. It would be more like the 9th round, which is still very, very good value. The last 2 games, he had 8 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown, and 10 receptions for 141 and a touchdown. I agree with you, Justin.
On the last
What's
game.
that?
Do you have his targets?
He was 10 targets, 8 receptions, 10 targets. So he was targeted 10 times in that last game. I will tell you that Ricky is the value here, even in the 8th round. I have no desire for Ayuk. Jennings will have games where he'll explode and do well, but Pearsall is going to be the most consistent wide receiver on this team. So keep that in mind. Kittle's kind of a no-brainer. Where they're going to fall back on Kittle again. I believe Kittle he's getting up there in age, if I remember. Let me take a quick peek at his age.
31-ish.
Yeah, let me back up here a little
31.
bit. 31. Yeah, we'll say. Yeah, 31. He's still an elite player. At least got another year in it. I wouldn't anticipate him staying healthy the whole year, but I don't know that I like him as the 3rd overall or 3rd rank. I think there's other tight ends I might like a little bit better, but it's still a solid tight end. We've said it a number of times. You have to get the top 3 tight ends. If you get the top 3 tight ends, one of those 3, you're okay at their ADP or a touch earlier, touch later, wherever it falls. But after that, completely wait on tight end. Don't reach on tight end. Wait. So moving on to the Rams. Last year, Rams looked pretty darn good last year, right? So 10-7, they were a 4 seed, lost to the Eagles in the 2nd round. Probably should have won that game. That was a very, very good game. Justin, you have them a little bit better, 11-6 this season, making the playoffs.
Yep. So I've never been a Devontae Adams owner ever in any of my leagues. I've just never had it before. I don't know why. Things don't work out. Man, this passing attack's gonna be it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough to defend. Devontae Adams, Puka, I think they complement each other so well. Matthew Stafford, I think, is still that dude. They've really invested in the trenches, O-line, D-line. They added Coleman Shelton from Chicago, Alaric Jackson as well. Not Alaric. They added G.J. Humphries from Kansas City too, and David Quisenberry from Minnesota. So they added a little bit to the offensive line. This defense is going to be nasty. Jared Verse was a revelation for them. Braden Fisk had a really good year. Kobe Turner a couple years ago was really good. They just have good dudes. They're really good coach defense. They're going to be tough to beat. Kyron Williams is still that dude. I think he still at least has 1 more year. I don't know if they're going to give him a contract. I hope they give him a contract because I think he's a good running back. But yeah, this is a good team.
I agree. It'll be fun to watch them see how they do this year in general. But fantasy football QB Stafford ranked 22nd, position ranking ADP 133, get him in the 11th round. I believe Stafford is undervalued right now, right? This is a steal, especially in Superflex. With the weapons that he has around him, what McVay can call and do, Stafford is going to be a sneaky pick, especially if you miss out on some top-tier quarterbacks and whatnot, and Stafford's sitting there. Maybe he's got a couple years left. We keep saying, oh, man, but the dude's tough as nails. He's got Devontae Adams there now, as Justin just alluded to. I like Stafford's value, especially in Superflex.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's not much to say. I think he'll have a really good year, especially with these two guys coming in. I think Devontae Adams is going to be a really good revelation for him.
Kyron Williams, the 12th ranked position, 33 ADP. You got to spend a second round to get him. No, that's not correct either. That's a third round. I think it's a steal for Kyron. I think the third round for Kyron is a steal. What are your thoughts, Justin? You like him?
I feel like people have really pivoted off him. They're really scared of Blake Corum, and they drafted another running back, or they have someone else on their depth chart. Who was it? Where is he? Oh, Jaquir's Hunter.
It's Hunt. Yeah. Yep.
They drafted him. People are kind of scared of that. I don't know why, man. Kyron Williams has been a top 7 back the last 2 years, man. He scores touchdown at a crazy clip. 12 and 14 touchdowns rushing, and then 3 and 2 receiving. He's still that guy. Like, I get it. He's almost victim weight. His chance always lose. He's 202, but he's 5'9", so he's pretty short. He's so consistent. He's such a consistent back. I mean,
and McVay loves him.
Yeah,
he does. 100%. He loves him.
I just don't know if they're going to give him a sidekick contract, so that doesn't really matter to redraft. But this year, like, he's still under contract. This is last year under contract. If anything, they're going to run him into the ground and be like, all right, we're going to pivot off you. So they're going to give him the ball.
Yep. And it'll still be a potent offense. So, agreed. Not going to cover Corum too much. You got to spend a 10th round pick to get him. Let's get into the wide receiver group with Devontae, Puka, Atwell. Devontae's 18, 32. You got to pick him in the third round. I don't know why these draft rankings are so rough. Shouldn't be. 32. You got to pick him in the third round. Puka's a 5th overall, 8 overall, first round, and then really Atwell is undraftable at 212 ADP. I do want to talk and spend a little bit of time on Devontae and Puka. I know Devontae, as soon as he went there, he was quoted saying, "It's been exactly what I needed. I feel really rejuvenated and really, really enjoy the time with our guys, letting them know, getting to know them, getting on the same page. It feels like I've been here a couple of years now." So there was another quote saying like something to the effects of, "I really like the vibe. It's exactly what I was looking for." So he's already ingrained, and we saw this. I'm almost certain we saw this with Cooper Kupp. We saw it with Puka Nacua. Stafford has done a wonderful job over the years with wide receivers in getting him to understand what he's trying to do and getting on the same page with them. I really like Devontae Adams in the third with Stafford throwing the ball. I know he's 32 years old, but if he's your wide receiver 2 and even better wide receiver 3, which depending on how you're going to draft, I think it's a good move with Devontae Adams. Agree or disagree, Justin?
Yeah, this is my hot take for the Rams. I think both these guys finish top 12. I think this is gonna be a very, very hard offense to cover. Like, it's fun watching Devontae's cut-ups with Puka, like just doing like get-offs and like how to get off the line, how to get off press. I think Puka's only gonna get better out of this. I think the lion's share is gonna be very much divided. But man, they're both going to be really, really good this year. I think. Again, the age thing is always really tough for me. I think Matt already talked about it. It's hard to draft really old receivers. I think one thing to take in mind of whatever the Jets were doing last year, and then Devontae coming to California where he's from. He played at Fresno State. I think that'll be, like you said, I think we'll get maybe 1 or 2 seasons out of him. I think maybe Stafford gives him another year, or Stafford's done after this year, but I think they're going to be full go. I think they're like, hey, we almost beat the champs. Let's go. Devontae Adams. We add him into this offense. This duo is going to, I mean, they're right up there for me as the best duo in the NFL.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with getting Puka at 8?
I think if I'm in the later half, I think I'm okay with it. If I got that turn, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. It's a little steep for me on that 8 spot. I think I would rather have London, which I know I can get a little bit later. But I'm with you. I think this will be a very good duo, but Puka's a little bit steep for me at the moment. In your mock draft, is that about where he went last time?
Yeah, he goes decently early. Sometimes he fell to 8 or 9, 9 or 10. Sometimes I got him, sometimes I didn't. So
that's fair enough. Yeah. Higbee, who's been there forever, and
Okay.
Ferguson. Now, I did find this very interesting. Both of them are kind of undraftable right now, but Ferguson is one position ranked higher, but yet Higbee's being drafted before him. So again, super super late. I will say Stafford has been pretty good with the tight ends, so it'll be interesting to watch what happens. Higbee, the old dog that he's kind of leaned on from time to time. Let's see what their young rookie can do out of Oregon. Um,
Yep.
um, Big tall guy, maybe he'll get reps, but tough for tight ends, rookie tight ends to get going early. But Stafford certainly has used tight ends in the past.
Yeah, so I feel like the theme for this NFC West is tight ends. Because we'll talk about the Seahawks a little bit. We already talked about the Niners have the
Yep.
Niners and Cardinals have two of the best tight ends in the league, and the Seahawks and the Rams have two rookie tight ends that I think me and Matt both like. So listen, they took Terrence Ferguson. So I love watching the draft stuff, like behind the scenes stuff. I watched a little bit of the Rams the other day. They were actively trying to trade up with, I think, either the Bears or somebody else in the top 10 to get a tight end. I think it was either Colson or Tyler Ward. I can't remember. I watched it like 2 weeks ago. I think McVay wants to put a tight end in this offense. So yeah, as you know, the Rams traded out with the Falcons. They spent a second round draft pick on him, for pick 46. I think the biggest thing for me right now with the tight end situation is they could get out of Taylor Higbee. They can absolutely cut him and save $12 million right now. So I think that's the biggest thing. He's a UFA after this year. Higbee is. So I think they're really going to take a shot on Ferguson. I think he's going to be later. I think he'll be very much a waiver wire guy, probably week 8, week 9-ish.
Yeah, and Higbee just turned 32. The one that we were actually high on and didn't really pan out much was Parkinson. Colby didn't do as much as we thought. He's only 26-year-old, so it would be much easier now to have Parkinson and Ferguson on moving forward. But here nor there for this season. Just keep an eye on Ferguson. We both like him. Moving on to the Seahawks. They were a surprising 10-7 last year. They did miss the playoffs, right? Because they of record. You've got them just absolutely tanking, Justin, at 4-3. You got to explain it here a little bit. What's going on with the Seahawks?
Man, I have a few Seahawks fans, so they're just going to tell me I'm a hater. Listen. The Seahawks are just a rough team. Like, I think Mike McDonald is a good coach. He's a defensive coach. I feel like they're trying to retool that. I just feel like they keep putting a Band-Aid on this quarterback situation. Like, you got to figure it out. Like, you got to pull the trigger and find a quarterback. I do not think Sam Darnold is that guy. I think they paid him way too much money. I think he was very much Kevin O'Connell's product of the system. Like, Kevin O'Connell made Josh Dobbs look good. And Josh Dobbs, I think, might be out of the league. So he's made a lot of dudes good. He made Kirk Cousins look good. Like, he is very good at what he does. I think Sam Darnold goes to a downgraded offensive line. I think he goes to a downgraded wide receiver group, tight end group, running back group, and a huge disadvantage at play caller with Clint Kubiak, who got fired this offseason with the Texans. CJ Stroud came out and said all this junk about Clint Kubiak. He one track mind, didn't let me audible, didn't let me do this. I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to mesh. I just don't see this working at all this year.
And I agree. For the same reasons, I think, just as a side note, but I think McCarthy will do okay just for in Minnesota Vikings. He'll do well. But go back and watch that video. We talked about that a little bit already. But I agree with you, Justin. It might be a tough season for the Seahawks. For you fans out there, apologize. But there is some hope. We're going to get into that right now. Sam Darnold, position rank 26, ADP 155, spend 13th round. I don't think anybody that follows football, fantasy football at all, and understands kind of what Justin just explained, that people are going to get out on Sam Darnold. Look, Justin and I will be the first ones to tell you that we were a little bit wrong on Sam Darnold, but so was everybody else in the industry of fantasy football. Nobody expected Darnold to do what he did last year. It wasn't nobody planned that. You know, maybe some people guessed, but it was like, wow, well done, Sam. They thought so much of him that, you know, they wouldn't match his free agency offer, and he went on to Seattle. So got paid over there. Good for him. The quarterback that I do like here is Milroe. 37 is position ranked, 248 undraftable. It would not surprise us, and we making receipts, it would not surprise Justin or I if he took over midway through the season. I am a huge fan of Milroe. I was this whole offseason out of Alabama. He runs for a ton of yards. He's a better thrower than what people give him credit for. He just needs a little bit of time. I actually don't mind the structure as a quarterback with Kubiak this first year. So I have tons of hope for Milroe. He's just undraftable right now. So anything to add to that, Justin?
I mean, just like, if you guys get a chance, just look at Sam Darnold, what he did. He had 9 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns last year. That is what we call an outlier. Like, you don't just magically... It's like me waking up one day and being 6'10". Like, it just doesn't happen.
For one day.
I am 5'8" on a good day with very big shoes and, like, 8 pairs of socks on. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's very, very weird. He crapped his pants the last couple games because people figured him out. And Kevin O'Connell, again, he had Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Hawkinson and Aaron Jones, who had a really good year. It's just not the same. So, like, just avoid him as much as you can.
Yep, agreed. And keep your eye on Milroe. Again, timestamp 7/7/25, right? Milroe. Keep an eye on Milroe. The two bright spots that I think we both like is Walker and Charbonnet. Walker is not position ranked number 1. He's 15. ADP is 43, 4th round, that type of stuff. Charbonnet, 37, 110, in the 11th round. Both of these guys are very, very capable running backs. Walker, we know. Charbonnet picked up some slack last year with Walker. If you marched out their 17 game, right, and you just took each other's stats and plugged it in, I believe they were a top 6, top 5 running back. So they're both very, very capable running backs. You're going to get Walker in the 4th round. To me, it's a little bit disrespectful. Again, another running back you can get later as a number 2 running back if you need to, and then you cover him with Charbonnet, which is awesome. So I really like both of these running backs at their value, and they're a steal to me. You agree, Justin?
Yeah.
Disagree?
So the Ken Walker stuff, I just don't understand. I will never understand. It feels kind of similar to Breece Hall a little bit, where there's like, just give him the ball. Just give him the ball and let him go. He's had over 20 carries twice last year. What are we doing? Just give him the ball. Let him run around. I hated the Zach Charbonnet pick when it happened because I like Charbonnet coming out of UCL. I was like, this kid's good. What are we doing? I just don't understand. But one thing we can know about Kubiak is he knows how to scheme up a run game. Look at his dad. Look at the Shanahan tree in general. They know what they're doing when it comes to the run game. I think Ken Walker can be a sneaky steal. Again, he is on his last contract year. Charbonnet going into year 3. Be kind of interesting to see where that happens. Again, his half PPR rankings have gone down each year. This is Ken Walker. His yards have gone down. His touchdowns are about the same. Caught a decent amount of balls last year with 46 receptions. So, I mean, he showed he could catch the ball where it felt like Charbonnet was should have more of that role. They both had about 40 receptions. But I think they can both be valuable. I really like Ken Walker where he's at right now. I think he can be pretty good still. I know McDonald really wants to run the ball. He's a Baltimore guy. Let's run the ball, play good defense.
Yep. Wide receivers, obviously we know they lost a couple of their staple wide receivers. I don't think I need to bring that up, but JSN, they did bring in Cooper Kupp. They did draft Horton. So JSN, position rank 14, 26 ADP. Got to get him in the 3rd. Kupp, moving on from the Rams, which you all know, 46. This position ranked 93rd in ADP, and you got to get him in the 8th round. I put Horton in here, which we'll talk about him in a minute. 121, 320, which is undraftable at this point. But JSN, who we really loved coming out of college, right? We were like, he landed with Seattle. We weren't sure what was going on there. He now becomes the de facto number 1. In an offense that we're not sure that we like throwing the ball, Justin. It's kind of like, do you spend draft capital 3rd round for JSN this year at this moment in the time.
So I've been having this like internal conversation with myself, and maybe Matt can talk me off the ledge here. It feels like JSN is going to be in the Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave mold. I don't know if they're that great, and I don't know if they're ever going to have a good quarterback, and that scares the crap out of me. I don't know if JSN's good. He finished really well. He seems like a target monster. It seems like JSN and Cooper Kupp do the same thing. They don't use JSN the correct way at all last year. I don't know if they'll do something different with him this year. It's just weird. It's just a weird situation. I don't know if he's good. I've had this internal dialogue with Malik Neighbors in the same way, where I'm like, I know Malik Neighbors is good. Don't get me wrong. I think he, like, dynasty-wise, he's like a top 3 guy right now, valued. And I'm like, should I try and trade him right now? Because I don't know if the Giants are good. I don't know if I could trust the Giants to get a quarterback. So, like, all those 4 kind of crossed my mind. It's kind of weird that they're all, with the exception of Malik Neighbors, they're all Ohio State guys, with the exception of Malik Neighbors being an LSU guy. But, man, like, who you're tied to with a quarterback or a play caller, man, matters a lot for wide receivers.
So let me throw some guys at you, kind of see what you think. So he is going 26, like I mentioned. So around him a little bit before, 3 picks before, Garrett Wilson or Jason?
Jason.
A little bit later, Rashee Rice or JSN?
Oh, gosh. I'm getting a little bit warmer on Rice.
8 picks later, Devontae Adams or JSN?
Oh, geez, Devontae.
And then around, 29 picks later, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, yeah. Give me that all day. Marvin Harrison is criminally underrated right now. It is making me mad.
Yes. And Terry McLaurin or Jason?
Jason.
Yep.
So, like, that's like Matt just brought up the guy. Like, are Garrett, JSN, and Chris Olave just gonna have the Terry McLaurin role? When Terry turns 30, they finally draft a generational quarterback, and it's like, holy crap, Terry McLaurin's that dude.
Yes.
But he's 30 now. It doesn't matter.
That's a challenge of this whole thing, right? You're like, I like other guys better. If you build it, there's some.
Just have Joe Burrow in a bad defense and just throw the ball 50 times and let's go.
Exactly. I mean, you're talking the 3rd round. It's tough for me to pick him there. I wish he would drop, because there's guys like Chase Brown I like better. Lamar Jackson sitting in the 3rd. Josh Allen sitting in the 3rd. Do you see where I'm coming from? I was like, unless I really want to wait, I don't know.
Trey McBride's probably around there, maybe.
Trey McBride's a little bit higher. He's at 25. I 1 pick earlier. So you see, I'm getting a big time ones. So why would I spend the money on JSN there? I hope he falls, but as of right now, you got to spend an early pick. I would rather spend the money on Kupp, right, in the 8th than JSN, unfortunately. So I did tag Horton here. Remember, Horton's the kid out of Colorado State that played for Sanders. He's a good wide receiver. He's speedy. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize him here. It's just put him in your back pocket. You can't draft him right now. He's a good flyer in Dynasty, but as a redraft for your seasons, probably not draftable.
The only reason he got drafted so late is he had I think he had some hamstrings going on at Colorado State, but the year before, I think he had like 1,800 yards and like 18 touchdowns. Yeah. The only reason me and Matt know that is because we're Boise State guys. But like
pretty much.
He was on the Blitnikoff. He was a Blitnikoff finalist 2 years ago. Like, he was crazy.
Yep. Moving on, tight end. So Fant, I put him on here, and I'm going to let Justin talk about the rookie, but position rank 43, ADP 310. We'll see if they use their tight ends. But Justin, you want to talk about the rookie who I didn't put on here? It's kind of another guy to keep your eye on that could knock Fant out of the starting spot.
Yeah, so Arroyo, he's a Miami guy. He played with Cam Ward. Very much physical freak, super fast. He didn't really catch a ton of balls at Miami. Not as much as you thought he would. Pretty high draft capital on him. Just one thing to remember with the Texans, Dalton Schultz, his first year with Clint Kubiak, had really, really good year. No Fant. Again, a 1-year guy, very similar to the Higbee thing. He is a UFA after this year. They can cut him and save 12 million? I mean, not 12, $10 million right now. Again, if Arroyo shows out in training camp, why not? Why not just give him a shot? I mean, Clint Kubiak has a very specific thing. Again, Dalton Schultz was more of an inline guy. I don't think Arroyo is much that guy. Maybe Arroyo can play like that big slot role. He is just fast. He is a fast, let's run the seams, let's beat some cover 2, some cover 3 stuff. So he might be a waiver guy.
He moves. He's 6'5", 254, and he moves very, very well. So go watch film on him. He's a fun to watch. Moving on to the Cardinals, not last division, but the last one in this division. 8-9 last year. We had higher hopes for them last year. They missed the playoffs. Justin, a little bit better this year. 10-7 for 2025. I have them into the playoffs. Just picking up a couple wins. Maybe they can get to 11. We'll see. Give me your thoughts around your predictions here.
Okay, so I have like my Google Docs page. I have my breakouts and like my hot takes, and the Cardinals, like, it was so hard to have like a hot take for them. So like it is fantasy related if you do fantasy defense, if you have that. But man, this front seven is gonna be fun. It's just gonna be a fun like rotation of just players. Like they have Calais Campbell. They have David Tomlinson. They drafted Walter Nolan. Darius Robinson was their first-round draft pick last year. L.J. Collier was a first-round draft pick a couple years ago. They have Baron Browning, who had 10 sacks last year. He got traded there like mid-season from Denver. And they have Josh Sweat, who they signed from Philly, who had a really good game in the Super Bowl. So just those guys up front, that's going to be fun. Like, they're going to get after the quarterback a little bit. They play a 3-4 base, so 3 down linemen, 4. So Baron Browning coming off the edge and Josh Sweat coming off the edge with B.J. Olari and Zaven Collins behind them. They drafted Jordan Burch out of Oregon. Like, they got some dudes. Like, they're deep and they got some dudes. Like, that's a pretty bad combination on defense. I really liked Will Johnson coming out of Michigan. He had some injuries, but he was one of my favorite DBs coming in. He should not have dropped as far as he did. He went in the second round. He was a perennial top 10 guy coming in. They still have Budda Baker, who has been an All-Pro before. I think this defense is going to be good. Like, really, really good. That is my biggest prediction for this 10-7 record. This defense is going to be good.
And that's they needed to spend a little money on defense, so they certainly did this year.
Yep.
Let's go through their offense a little bit here and what we got. We expect a little bit more out of Kyler Murray, right? I mean, what I have found with Kyler Murray is either you love him or you don't like him at all. And if you're an Arizona fan, you're either, no, he's our guy, or please trade him. There's no in-between with that. You know, it's like we've seen him do remarkable things like, wow, dude, they're cooking, and other times where they're just frustrated by him. His position rank is 9. His ADP is 84. You got to spend a 7th round to get him. Give me your thoughts on Murray, Justin. Do you not? This is interesting.
I'm still a Kyler guy. He's just as good. He's just a good fantasy quarterback. I would not want him as my NFL quarterback, but he is a really good fantasy quarterback. I finished quarterback 10.5 PPR, threw for 3,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 INTs, but he ran the ball 78 times for 572 yards. There it is. Yep. That's why he's good. That's why he's good in fantasy. He runs for 500 yards every year. Yeah. I mean, he has that upside of being a top 3 guy. Anytime I can get him late, I'm going to take Kyler. That's just what it is. He's always been that guy for me where he's just really good at fantasy football.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to bet against him sometimes. Now, look, there were some reports last year where Marvin Harrison Jr., they just didn't connect. There was times Harrison was open and they just didn't get it, timing. Rumor on the street, right? Beat writers talking about it. They're fixing things. They're going to get Marvin Harrison the ball. So between him running and him being able to find Marvin Harrison, MHJ, it's possible, right? There's some stuff there. I will tell you for myself, Bo Nix goes around. This is Bo Nix territory, and I would rather have Bo Nix. Right? So I'm not saying I wouldn't take Kyler Murray. I'm just looking at my roster construct, and this is what I would do. If he's available and things didn't go my way, he is certainly a quarterback that I would take. So James Conner, position rank 20, 57 is the ADP. You get him in the 5th round, and then Trey Benson's behind him. 44 is position ranked 139 and 12. I think we actually had this all wrong last year. We really thought Connor would kind of die off a little bit, and Benson would come in and just take over. And I don't know. Connor is now 30 years old. He was a 1,000-yard rusher last year, 8 touchdowns, and really put Benson on the back burner. I'm starting. Can we get one more season out of Connor? He seems to just be the little energizer bunny that keeps going. You got to spend a 5th-round pick, but if he's your RB2, RB3, 1,000-yard runner, oh, okay. I think. Justin?
Yeah. I think the biggest revelation for James Conner is he caught 20 more passes than he did the year before. It was just huge. That's a lot of points if you're playing half, if you're playing full, either way. So they have a pretty big out here after this year. So they can cut him out. They can cut him outright and save $17 million and only have $2 million of dead cap. So you could see that. I really think he's gonna be the bell cow again. He always gets hurt. He usually misses 2 to 3 games. That's just James Conner. That's just the way his career has gone. So some of his finishes the past 4 years, running back 10 last year, 18, 25. So he's kind of all over the place sometimes. But I think he's found his home in Arizona. It seems like Kyle likes to check the ball down to him and Trey McBride quite a bit in those low areas, those low zones, 0 to 5 yards, and let them kind of do their thing. But, I mean, you can't argue with 47 catches. Again, he ran the ball pretty dang well with a 4.64 yards per carry. I don't think Trey Benson's quite ready yet.
Yep. So I'm going to throw some guys at you just around the normal ADP or close where they're at. Chuba or Connor?
Chuba. He's going to be good this year.
Mixon or Connor?
Oh, man, the Nick Chubb makes me second guess it. I don't know why, though. Woo! I'm gonna go James Conner there.
All right, couple of rookies. Henderson, Connor. I knew that would be a tough one.
Connor. It's tough in redraft. Yeah, you gotta go Connor. I think it's gonna take a while for Henderson to get going.
And RJ Harvey or Connor.
Connor. That
Denver
backfield got real cloudy once they signed JK.
I still I will stick to my guns. I like Harvey over Connor. I'm taking him. I love him. So, all right, moving on to Marvin Harrison Jr., 17 position ranked, 34 in the ADP, third round you got to spend. And Wilson, 76, 193, 17. Zay Jones is on there, which you could probably, I think Deutsch is around there too. Those guys are probably undraftable at this point. I'm probably not taking Wilson or Jones with McBride and Harrison. But you like Harrison. You stated earlier you like him in third. You're spending draft capital on him.
Yeah, if he's in the third, man, that's gonna be a quick pick for me, real quick. He should not be that low. I think Zay Jones and Michael Wilson are really good compliments to Marvin Harrison. But my hot take, my breakout, again, is Marvin Harrison is top 5 wide receiver this year.
So I'll give you some.
He's good.
Yep, I'll give you some guys that I think we all agree we like a little bit more from Marvin Harrison. Devontae Adams, we like Marvin Harrison better than Devontae. Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Metcalf, Worthy, right? You kind of like, okay, those guys fall down a little bit, but I like MHJ much, much more. And those are somewhat close into his range that he's being drafted at. So no question, smash Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
and
I don't
you'll be all right.
I don't have to think 5 seconds about any of those guys compared to Marvin Harrison this year.
Yep. Trey McBride, I don't think we have to spend a ton of time on either. Position rank 2, ADP is 25, so it's the start of that third round. If you circle back, if you get third and 4th round, but I like him. I don't think you can go wrong with Trey McBride. He's such a good tight end. And we talked about it last year over and over and over and over. Trey McBride. I love Trey McBride. He had every bit of potential to be a Travis Kelce way back then. I think it was even 2 years ago we were talking about it. So it's like, hey, we were talking about this a long time ago. So I hope you kind of tuned in and listened. But anything to add on Trey McBride? I don't think anything changes a lot here.
What did he finish last year, Matt? In half PPR, I have it, but
Go ahead. You said you do have it. I don't have that pulled up.
Just give me your guess then. What you think he finished as the tight end advice?
3.
Yeah, he finished 3, guys. How many touchdowns did he have? How many touchdowns did he have?
I'm gonna bet like 10.
2.
What?
He had 2 touchdowns.
Well, there you go. You just proved my points.
One of them was a fumble recovery. Like, he had 147 targets, 111 receptions, 1,100 yards, 2 touchdowns. If he's a tight end 3 with 2 touchdowns, do you know how absurd that is? If he would have cut,
that's very absurd.
He's the tight end 1. Like, holy crap! I think this guy takes the mantle next year. I think he takes it. I get that Brock Bowers is that guy. He's gonna have a little bit more competition, but if Trey McBride scores 5 touchdowns, he's better than last year. Like, it doesn't take that much. This was my guy last year, and I'm like so happy.
I agree with you. I just looked at it. I did not know that, so I'll be very transparent. I don't know everything. We just look at it, go off of what we believe, what we see, our conversations. We're just real with you guys, right? We tell the truth. It's National Tell the Truth Day. I did not know his 2 touchdowns came at the last 2 games of the season.
Yep.
Wow. That's incredible. Justin, you are 100% right. Add 4 touchdowns to it, he's tight end 1. That's incredible. And this offense should be much better. So this is great.
He's a great player. Again, Arizona, they're just a sneaky team. Just watch out.
Yep.
They're like them. The Houston Texans are probably my 2 sleeper teams that they're going to surprise a lot of people. Not just because their offense, not because I believe in CJ and Kyler, their weapons, but man, their defenses are really, really good. Yeah, they're going to be fun teams to watch.
So you could theoretically do a construct like this. Bear with me here. Let's say you are towards the back end of the first round. You get Genty, and I don't care what you do with the rest. Brian Thomas Jr., you come back around, and we'll just follow what you did. And let's say for giggles, and we'll even throw it out there, whether I agree or disagree doesn't matter. You get McCaffrey and Trey McBride. Look at that start to that team.
I don't think you can get that start. If you got that start, I would just auto draft the rest.
Why not?
I would auto draft the rest of my draft. I'm like, I won. It's done.
That is crazy.
That is a stupid lineup. Like,
even if you're first pick.
Yeah.
So he's a start of 3. So let's say you get Bijan, and then you come around in 24. Let's say you get like I don't know who you want there.
Give me some names.
Well, you can go Trey McBride. Let me give you. Okay, so I'll give you.
Hey, just do this, Matt. Just do this.
Yes.
Give me Bijan, give me Christian, and give me Trey McBride right there. I'm good.
Okay.
I'll figure out why.
There you go.
I'll figure it out.
So if you go front, we'll go Bijan on the back end to be around 24. You could take McBride, and let's say you want to. Good Lord, you could do Lamar there. You could do Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's be aggressive. Or if you wanted to reach just a little bit, you go Marvin Harrison Jr. You understand, right? There's a lot there to be had. Just go with the flow is what we're saying. So this looks like a lot of fun, and we could sit here and do this all day. But no, this is great. That is our NFC West breakdown for you guys. Hope you guys liked it. Man, we talked about a lot. We gave you the potential cheat code in McCaffrey. Everybody's fading him. Even though the ADP that we saw was a first round, but we are seeing much, much later, and it's possible if he stays healthy, he could be your cheat code to win your league. Man, Justin, any final words before we sign out of here?
Like just kind of to jump on Matt's point, I think there's two big league winners here. If you can get either of those guys in the third or the fourth round, and Marvin or Christian McCaffrey, man, you're really set up for success. I think. Again, people were really down on Marvin. I don't know why. He still had 800 yards, which is really good for a rookie. He was open a lot. Like, all his metrics are fine. Like, don't stress about it. Malik Neighbors kind of overshadowed him a little bit. Just trust it. Trust the talent. He's still that guy. He's tied to a really good quarterback. Same, and then the Niners, like, hey, if you want to go out there and you want to win your league, if you want to bet on a guy that is usually the running back 1 or 2, Christian McCaffrey is not a bad bet.
Yep. A little known secret: you have to, if you want to win your fantasy football leagues, put this in your back pocket. If you can crush your first 3 picks, your odds of going at least to the playoffs are huge. Everybody talks about the first pick overall. It's not the first pick. If you can crush the first three rounds. You heard Justin talk about the 3rd round reversal. There's a reason for it. If you can crush those first 3 rounds, you're in business. So anyway, thanks for joining with us, everybody, tonight. Appreciate you. We're right at about the hour mark. We'll be back. Our plan will be we're hoping Sunday. It may be Monday. Well, we're going to be flexible. We just enjoy having you guys tune in. And when you're live with us, man, leave a comment, talk with us, ask questions. We love to communicate with you guys. We love talking ball. We just want you guys to win your fantasy football leagues. We're all about the bragging rights. There's nothing better than the bragging rights of your fantasy football leagues. So until next time, we will see you guys next time. Have a good evening and peace out.